Hello, welcome to the All or Nothing podcast. Our official sponsors are KR Couriers and Transport Limited. This is a Northwest based courier company delivering all across the UK. They can assist in home moves and removals to large, heavy and bulky items, collections and drop-offs. Fast, safe and reliable deliveries. Please get in touch for a free quote. You'll find all the information within the description. Thank you. Hello everybody and welcome back to the All or Nothing podcast with myself, Billy Moore, and today's special guest is former Everton striker Michael Branch. How are you?
Good, mate.
Michael, thanks for coming on. So
Good,
Michael, you know, you've been down that road similar to myself, different paths, different routes. Tell us a little bit about yourself growing up and then we'll get into your story and, you know, share that redemption.
Yeah, sure. So growing up, didn't really have any interest in football till I was about 8 or 9. My dad was an ex-pro at Liverpool for 3 years, so he was always wanting me to, but it took a while. But then once I showed a bit of interest in it, that was it. It was full on then, and I was pretty good at it from a young age. So it was full on, know what I mean? When I was at schoolboys, at 10 under 10 schoolboys, I was doing really well, and that was it. It was just
So like, you know, like getting involved in footy from a young age, because we're all at school, aren't we?
Yeah,
you know, everyone's got a fucking couple of jumpers there for the goal, you know, and then there's a line, you know, and we'll have him. You remember that one?
Yeah, of course.
I never got picked, by the way. I was fucking always the goalie. And then when it did, it was like, oh, fucking hell, we'll have to have him. So, you know, I obviously they knew that I couldn't play, you know, and I became a boxer instead. However, did you have that ability from an early age, you feel, to play football? And
as soon as I started playing, whether it was in the family, I don't know or what, but yeah, as soon as I started, people were saying I was pretty good, really good, and it's just come natural, sort of thing. But also, on the other side of it, it was tough because my dad was going to make sure I made it, so I'd be after school having to go to the field with my dad, go for runs around Sefton Park. It wasn't all like sunshine, know what I mean? Yeah, so you did. Tough. It was, I can imagine. It was tough, and people think, oh, you're just really good at it, but you don't see the other side of it. The sacrifices, not going out with your mates and stuff like that. But would I have made it without that? I don't know. So, do you feel like you were under pressure? You know, because like I can identify with something similar. You know, did you ever feel like you were under pressure to be, to prove to your dad or to, you know, the people around you that you could make it? Because for me personally, it was like when I was like training, I had to go on runs down like to the lighthouse and back, and you know, I'd have to put a little bit more of an effort in. You know, I didn't feel like I was getting to. I feel as though I think my dad was tough, but he was sort of old school. Yeah, and it was hard at times with him, but we get on so well now. He's like my best mate, but at times I used to hate him for what we put him over. They had a bad game. Like they're just on me case and all that. Might have played for England, scored like 3, and then he's like, you should have scored 5. I'm like, gets a chance. Do
you know what, Michael, right, what happened to me? I always share this because I came home so excited. I was training and I got my first fight. Yeah. And I ran in to my dad just to tell him, and I think he's going to be fucking made up. And I said, Dad, right, so I've got this fight. Yeah. You know, it's in Waterloo and it's against this kid and I can't wait and all that. And he went, do you know if you don't knock him out in the first round, I'm going to knock you out? Yeah. And I shit myself, lad. I was like, what? Yeah, I can imagine. And I remember getting in that ring, and people have heard this, and I got in the ring, and I thought, I've got to knock this kid out. And I went over to him and said, I'm going to knock you out in the first round. And I never. Yeah. I stopped him in the second, and that I felt was never enough. So I can get the never enough and the never feeling. There'd be times now when you'd be, like, say, playing for the school or whatever, and you'd think, oh, he's not coming today, and you'd relax, and then all of a sudden I'd see him and like the pressure's on again now. So it was never enjoyable at a young age, even though you're really good at it. Yeah, it's weird. So what was it like the selection like for Everton and getting to that place? Because it's not easy, is it? It's not like it's every school kid's dream. Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially in Liverpool, you know what it's like football wise. So
I went and knocked on the APH, my local manager's door. I was only small. I was saying, can I come and play? He said, like, you're too small. You're a couple of years younger, but you can come and train. So I trained a few times, then I was playing. And then Sid Benson, like everyone knows Sid, in Liverpool, a scout for Everton. He come and watch me, picked me up and wanted you to come in. Me being a blue, couldn't wait. That was it. Even though my dad was a red.
Yeah.
But I think because I hated Liverpool was because they'd released me dad, and also my first game I went to was an Everton game. So and that was it. So we didn't have a car or nothing at the time. Sid would come down, pick us up from Egbert and take us up to Belfield twice a week.
So your dad played for Liverpool, did you say?
He was 3-year pro. He never made the first team debut, but he was YT and then got a 3-year pro. So he was on the verge, like the cusp of the reserves. He reckons the reserves back in the 70s would have finished second in the league. They were that good. Then from there he could have went anywhere, but his head just sort of fell off a little bit.
And then he wanted his son to continue that legacy.
I wasn't good. He was going to make sure I didn't make the mistakes he done.
Yeah.
Which, looking back, would I have made it without him? Probably not. So
he was there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. We all need that encouragement and that, like, that
it's just a fine line, isn't it, between too much? Because with my son, people say I didn't push him enough because I didn't want him. It's just finding that in between me. So now I want to start at Everton, starting talking to the parents and teaching them about what goes through the kids' heads as well. Yeah. Just because they're good at it doesn't mean maybe they want to do it or they're enjoying it.
Exactly, yeah.
So
there's a balance. So yeah, I appreciate that because, you know, there is a fine line between, you know, being the best and having a life as well.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Not being a kid, you know.
I was playing for Everton, and after a bit, so when I made my debut, 17, everything's going good. Then the pressure started coming on. I wasn't scoring enough goals and whatever. I used to hate football. I used to dread it. I was signed for Wolves. I think I got sold for like whatever it was. Quite a lot of money at the time for Wolves. And I phoned the PFA up and said I don't want to play football no more. I was 21 and I wanted to stop playing.
That's fucking mad, that, isn't it?
Isn't it?
You know, you've got your whole life ahead of you. You know football, especially footballers today, that they're earning fucking mega money, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, it's a big game, and you know, there's a lot involved. You know, for you to get to a place of like being like you compared to like Michael Owen as the next Everton.
Well, the next Robbie Fowler.
The next Robbie Fowler for Everton.
Yeah.
At the time. You know what I mean? Because, you know,
there was a lot of pressure as well, especially with as I said, with a city like Liverpool. You can't get away from it. You go to the shop, you read the Echo, you put Radio City on back in the day, you know what I mean? It was just full on all the time. And back then, because I've learned it now, back then we didn't have any like psychologists or counsellors or anyone to help it, and it was just, I know it's a bit cliche, but it's old school. You're not going to go in and say to Dave Watson, I'm struggling a little bit here with my mental health, or I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. So you just got to get on with it.
That's the same. Like Chris Kirkland on recently, and he was going through. He had his own demons where he went down on painkillers, and he was hiding it, you know, and he wasn't communicating with people and really telling everyone what was going on. So it was having an impact on his gameplay.
Definitely.
You know, the same with Jose Baxter. You know, no one's alone in this. And what you've said just before was like, you know, you want to speak to parents.
Yeah.
You know, and this podcast is quite beneficial to people out there who need to know this.
Yes.
To need to know that, you know, they've got young kids out there who are getting into the game. You know, what do they need to do to kind of help them? Have that conversation with them.
Yeah.
Is this what you want?
Yeah.
You know, do you want a little break at a bit of a period of time to do something with your friends and be, you know, young? Is that what you felt you were missing, that sort of intervention?
It was just tough. It was just full on from the minute I was started, know what I mean? And because I was successful maybe, but it just seemed full on. I just no escape from it and could never be good enough. It was always, you need
to be better.
So I didn't break Robbie's schoolboy record, so I should have broke that. Then I went, lucky enough I got to Lilleshall, so I got, when you were 13 or 14, every club could send 4 players for trials for the national school in the country. So about 5,000 start with the first trial, your regional ones, then it gets broken down, and in the end 16 of you get picked. You go to the national school, boarding school for 2 years, you live down there, and it was a breath of fresh air because I was away from Liverpool, and I was there just enjoying football. And then what's it called, then it was time to, who am I going to sign for? I'm playing for England, I'm scoring for England. I'm not just going to say this, but at the time I'm probably the best player,
say it, lad,
in the country at the time. Even though it's took me to this age to like start believing in myself that I was that good. So it was who am I going to sign for? And Liverpool obviously wants me, Man United, Chelsea's the lot, and I went with Everton. And then it was just, that was it from then on. I went with my heart because they're my team, but looking back, career-wise, maybe wasn't the best.
So who was on your team back then?
At Lilleshall.
At Everton, when you first signed?
So when I first signed, obviously it made me debut. I think Dunk was playing, Nevin.
Duncan Ferguson.
Yeah.
I like Duncan.
Yeah, Tony Grant. Kanchelskis was there. Kanchelskis is probably the best player I've played with. But there was Dave Watson. There was good lads there, know what I mean?
When did Rooney come on the scene?
So Rooney's quite a few years younger than me, so I'd already moved on from Everton by then. I don't really know Rooney, to be fair. So, but obviously growing up, I played for the team in Highton, played with Gerrard for like 3 years in the Sunday League and that. Tom Coleshaw. So we had a good little team.
When you were winning everything.
Yeah, won everything. And then we got to Everton, didn't win nothing.
Now we're fucking at the bottom of the league, lad. We're fucking lucky.
Tell me about it.
It's like the last couple of years we've been fighting relegation.
I can't believe it. After last year, I was like, we're not going to go through that again.
No, mate, I was there when we beat Chelsea just to stay in.
Yeah.
Right, and then Richarlison was like, he was playing for us, and it was like there was a striker that was fucking scoring. Now it's like,
yeah, we could always rely on Richarlison to grab us a goal.
Yeah.
Now we just struggle.
Now we struggle to, like, we got McNeil and fucking who's the fella? Fucking hell. Calvert-Lewin, yeah. We they're playing. When they're playing, they're on form, aren't they?
Yeah.
But it's just, I think with Sean Dyche involved now, we've got a little bit of structure.
Yeah.
Some routine. I mean, Lampard, there was no guidance whatsoever,
sadly. Should have
went
early, shouldn't he, really?
He should have. There was no guidance whatsoever, sadly. And it's like,
it's just, it's not just that about the teams. Like, obviously I work for Everton in the community, and I've done nearly 4 years now. So, the charity arm of the club. But if we go down, we lose loads of funding on the charity side as well. So then that impacts our programmes that we're doing in the city and impacts the kids and all that. It's not just about a footy team.
No, it's not. Because I do a lot with Everton.
Yeah.
Free school.
Yeah.
So
we do. Next to us,
we do a lot with, the young kids in there who are on the cusp.
Yeah. Well, I used to work on a 41 programme, and if they're not in school, not in school or education, they'd come to us 2 times a week, twice a week, do a little workshop in the morning with them, and then go out and do something in the afternoon with them. These ones who have either been expelled or are on the cusp of criminality or whatever, and just so. And
you've got, you're a right role model to share your experience as well with young, up and coming kids who are on the streets who want to be a footballer. Because for myself, right, this is like a role that I have with youngsters. I'm in recovery.
Yeah,
I've been down that road where I've had my demons, and it's been really tough, and I've lost everything. And I don't really want, anyone else to travel down that path.
Yeah.
And if I can avoid it, and I can be of service and a benefit to others, and give them that hope that there's a better future than the one they believe they may have through temptation. Because everyone's fucking skint. So temptation creeps in, and
of course.
Everyone wants to try a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's a gateway drug. It takes you to this place, it takes you to that place. And next thing, you're fucking running up and down the country.
Tell me about it.
You tell me about it, Michael, because you've had that. And I mean, it is what it is. There's no escape from our past. But we're here today to share the errors. I'll always say this. Someone said to me once, he said, Billy, you know why they put rubbers on the end of pencils? He said, because you can erase that mistake and start a new canvas.
Yeah.
He said, that's it. It's start fresh. Don't live in that, right? And use that as a benefit for others.
Yeah.
You know, so what went wrong? Let's start with like what went wrong for you, because your heart was not in it.
My heart wasn't in it for a long time, and then I'm dropping down the divisions. My money's going down each club I'm signing for, and I'm at Chester.
So you went from Everton to Chester.
Yeah.
You travel through Wolves and everywhere.
Wolves, yeah, and then I was at Bradford for a bit, and so I'm at Chester, and I'm just not enjoying it. And
make sure you speak into that.
Yeah, sorry. So I'm not enjoying it that much, and you know the score. It's like football and criminals so go hand in hand. You go in the same bars. You know what it's like. And some of my mates were up to no good, and next thing you know, you see what money they've got, and you're dropping down, but you've still got your house to pay for, this, that, and the other, and it seems easy. And you think, what the hell? Let's see. Yeah. And then you've fallen behind on mortgages and that. You've got 3 kids. Temptation. So that was it really, and then that was the start of it. And then I was sort of in it. I was like, how do I get out of it? Was you like using as well at the same time? Because that comes hand in hand as well with like. No, I didn't, because I was still sort of playing at the time. Yeah. And that. So then I got arrested, and when I got arrested, I was sort of like, thank God. I remember
like a pressure cooker.
I was in the police car getting taken because they come to the house in the morning, and he said, I can't believe how cool you are. And it was just relief. I was just saying, I'm just glad it's all over. He said, you're in big trouble. I was like, I don't care, it can't be as bad as what's been going on in my head. This prison I'm going to can't be as bad as what's going on in my head at the minute. So it was sort of like a reset, and I got to jail, and I had to learn fast because I'd never been in trouble. But I navigated through it, and in a way it was the best thing that happened to me.
Yeah, I can relate to that experience of like that build up, especially when your conscience has the best of you.
Yeah.
You know, and you're paranoid, and you're looking over your shoulder, and you can't relax, and you're living in absolute sheer terror and fear, right? I've been in that position before, especially clean and in recovery, and I've got all that going on, and it's like boiling a kettle, and it's just the steam just releases, like relief. It was pure relief, and it's over. And before then I'm starting to drink way too much now, so just to switch the head off, just to get out of reality, and just. So I'd be drinking, and then you know what it's like, you get in a cycle, and next thing you're just drinking like every day or whatever, and it's just so alcohol became a part of, you know. Yeah, and it's still the solution.
Yeah, and it's still a fight now, you know what I mean? I still can struggle with it. It's something I'm working on. I'm not ashamed of saying it, you know what I mean?
No, don't be, mate.
We all have our struggles and all that. So yeah, I'm in recovery, and one day at a time, as they say.
Yeah, and that's, you know what, if it's like I always said this, I love taking drugs. Yeah. I loved using, right? I love getting out of my head.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the consequences.
Yeah.
Right? If I could still use today, if I could go to the bar and have a berry, and then go and have a spliff, and then go and have a line, and then go and do something else, then I would.
Yeah.
Because I like the feelings.
Of course.
I'm not gonna lie. Right, I didn't like the consequences, didn't like the dark places, I didn't like the isolation, didn't like the separation, I didn't like the prison.
No.
Right, that's where it all took me in the end. It didn't take me home at the end of the night and go, okay, that was boss.
Yeah.
Gonna go to bed, wake up, go to work, have a good day. No, the party never ended.
No.
So I know the struggles, and I know it is one day at a time, and it's a daily reprieve. You know, as long as we're not in that place we were, you know, we can move forward slowly but surely.
Yeah, I mean, there's been times, especially when I got out of prison. So for the time you're in prison, I've got my head down. I've become a gym orderly. I've then got the PFA have sent me courses in, so I'm doing distance learning to be an accountant. I'm going to come out. I'm going to be the best husband at the time to my ex-wife now, and best dad. Then come out, it doesn't work out with me and the missus. So now I'm in a flat on my own, skint.
expectations.
Just all this, what I was thinking, this perfect life I was going to have now is just, so now I've got a choice. I could go back to my old ways and get some money, or I can, so obviously I've got my head down and all that, but then in the end the illness has got me on my own, just isolated me from everyone, and then next thing you know, you're just in a flat on your own, and end up drinking again or whatever. I was like, that'd be better back in there. That makes sense.
It does.
And then finally someone to see me reached out, got me back on board, and so I'm in a good place now. Well, I'm getting there.
I'm happy to hear that, because I know what it's like to be in a really dark place, right? Really lonely, like emotionally, like your head's gone. Right? Trust me, right? I shared this the other week where, I've sat in a room and there was a table in front of me and it was full of drugs, right? And I knew I had everything I wanted there, and I just started sobbing because I did have everything I want, but there was nothing that I needed. No. There was nothing that I needed.
Yeah.
And I needed my family, I needed people in my life, I needed just to just be a normal, everyday, productive member of the community. If that makes any sense, or what a normality is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you're in that place of making like bad decisions again.
Yeah.
So what was for you? What was the process of going to prison like? Because that must have been really difficult, especially being in the limelight, right? You're in the public eye.
Yeah.
You've got a platform. They put you up there. This, that, and the other, and then you're in prison. Everyone knows who you are. It's horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible. So I got arrested. Obviously, I think it was a Tuesday morning. Then I've been taken for questioning for 2 days in the police cell. Then I've gone to court. My solicitor saying you'll get bail, definitely get bail. Got remanded straight to all course. So gone to all course. It was night time by now, so everyone was already behind the door. Opened the cell, I'm in with some other fella. It's his first night as well. And then next morning, and I just remember the keys opening and just hearing on the induction wing, and just the madness. I was like, it sounded like a jungle out there. And I was like, I don't want to open this door. I've opened it and it's just young kids, like madness running around. I'm like, I'm going to get through this. So I've come out and I went like that and looked to the right, and at the end, one of the screws, he used to be at Everton with me. Yeah. Like no white tee. Yeah. And then later on, when we're behind the door at lunchtime, he's come and see me. He said, have you got a brother called Michael? Because I'm Chris and Paul Michael, so all my legal stuff's Paul. Yeah. So we didn't know you were... So I said, so I'm trying to keep under the radar. I might get away with this. I might get away with Paul. And I've gone, oh no, Michael's in Australia still, because I lived in Australia for a bit. He said, is he? Yeah, how's he doing? I said, he's doing really well. I'm like this mad dreaming about me being in Australia. I said, he's doing really well, So then he's come back like an hour later to unlock us after lunch, and he's gone, I've just been checking, Michael hasn't got a brother. I went, Wayne, it's me. He went, what have you done? I said, don't. And he was like, do you know anyone in the jail? I said, my dad knows a couple of on like Melon Blue. Yeah. Well, it was Melon Blue at the time. Now it might have changed to a different kind of wing. So
Canal Green and Fairlawn.
So he said, pack your stuff, you're going on there. So that sort of helped me out straight away, you know what I mean? It was like, then I was around people who sort of looked after me, because staying on that induction wing, jeez, it's a nightmare. And then I was on remand for 4 months, still going to getting produced to court. And then I was like, so I wasn't sure what I was getting. I didn't know whether I was going to get, I was still thinking in my head, I might get a suspended sentence, and then I might get a 2, I might get a 4. So the police, the chief fella said to me, ex-wife, he said to her, he'll get slammed, he'll get the maximum he can get, he'll get a 5. I was like, no, I can't do 5. I'll come out with 7. First time I'd ever been in trouble.
They give you 7 years.
7 years for me first ever offence. So we've come back, and that day in court, we were in Chester Crown Court, and we're there all day. I'm waiting to get sentenced. So they've took us from 6 o'clock in the morning, as you know, over to Chester, and then you never know when you're going to get called up. I didn't get called up till like 4:30. So for the full day, you just, every time the door goes, you think it could be you now. Yeah. And I've gone up, and then I've come back, and I've held it together, and then I've just come back and I've just burst out crying. I was just like, I can't do this. I can't say I have to do 3.5 behind the door away from the kids and all that. I just can't do it. I just thought, I don't know how I'm going to get through it. And then lucky enough, one of the gym screws, he's seen I was down and he pushed me up the line to see a counsellor. And this counsellor, Chris her name was, she saved my life without a doubt. She like got me talking about stuff and just changed me whole mindset on stuff. And it was like, you can either just be a victim and poor old you shouldn't be here, or you can just crack on and just do the best you can. And something just changed, and that was it.
You need something like a life
just
coach
talking like that, yeah. And I used to look forward. She'd give me books to read, and it was just like, wow, just someone just literally just wants to help you and has no alternative motives, just literally. I didn't realise talking to people how good it is. Know what I mean?
Yeah. It is. It's cathartic. It's quite, you know, a lot of men and women, you know, let's not just separate people. Especially men, though.
Yeah.
Like, find it really difficult to share how they feel.
Yeah.
To share their emotions because we're men.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Male, macho, fucking stuff going on. Now, for me, I had that similar experience where, you know, someone sit down and you feel, I'm alright, I'm sad. Right? And I'd go back to the cell and think, oh, I just want to tell him I'm fucking hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd sob in my cell.
Yeah.
And then the door would open and I'd throw a mask on. You know, because I never had the courage to share with someone. And it was only when I got into recovery that I heard someone, big lump of a fella.
Yeah.
Right? Fucking ears twisted, fucking nose splattered. Right? Eyes looking down. And he was talking about how he felt, you know, and it was real, and it gave me the courage to open my mouth and go, mate, I fucking feel the same as you.
Yeah.
You know, and that was really, it's really important, I believe. Well, no, I don't believe, I know it's important to share where you're at.
Yeah, definitely.
Because secrets keep you really sick.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the illness once you're on its own, doesn't it? Just you on its own, isolate you from your friends and your family and that. And even today, funny enough, it was like, I haven't had a great couple of weeks, and my dad phoned me today. He's like, is everything okay? Now, my dad's old school, used to be a bouncer and all that, and now the way he was, he's like, are you sure you're okay? You know, do you want to go for a walk and have a talk? My dad wouldn't have done that 30 years ago, know what I mean? It's like completely changed. He's like, are you sure you know I'm always here? You can tell me anything. And it got me a little bit emotional, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's nice that it is.
Yeah. Just seemed fitting.
Your dad reminds me of my dad, right? In a way, where at the end of his life, right, he could see, you know, I was having a bit of a hard time in a relationship with some girl that I thought I was in love with, and it broke down. And I remember sitting there in my sister's, and he come round and he was like, are you alright, son? And he doesn't say that. No. He said, you know, I'm always here for you.
Yeah.
And I thought, lads, you bastard, you fucking battered me for years and just fucking, you know, I didn't feel like I could ever say hello to you, never mind talk to you. Yeah. And that, I knew, you know, that was his way of like saying, look, I'm sorry.
Definitely.
For the way, you know, for not being there, or for not being the dad I should have been. You know, and so that was his way of making amends, I suppose. But yeah, totally agree. You know, you know, talking.
Oh, without a doubt,
makes a difference. Yeah. So it's it's doom and gloom. 7 years, mate. Yeah. I've never got a 7.
Yeah.
Right. I think the biggest ever sentence he had was a 4.
Yeah.
Right. And that was horrible. You know, I had 4s, 3s, 2s. I was like what you call a recidivist. I remember the PT saying to me, "You are a recidivist." And I'm like, "What's that mean?"
Yeah.
He said, "Go back to cell, get yourself a dictionary from someone, come back tomorrow and tell me what it means."
That the one in Kirkham?
No, this was in Stafford, and I had a look. Recidivist meant an habitual criminal.
Yeah.
Just constantly coming in, out, in, and I thought, fuck that, I'm not going to be that patient. Know what I mean?
But what I found, I don't know whether you feel the same, but like playing football all your life, you got told when to get up, what to eat, when to train, when to go to bed, and then sort of once that stopped and I could do what I wanted, I'd done everything to extremes then, and I went to jail and I got locked up at a certain time, I got unlocked up at a certain time. I love the structure of jail again, whether it's something I need in my life, proper structure, because if I'm left to my own devices, I can do everything to extremes. So now I have to wake up with a plan every morning. If I don't have a plan for the day, then my head's off.
Yeah, it's routine, discipline.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what happens if you're on your own, you're in bad company. You've got those intrusive thoughts, and it came flooding back to me when you said, like, you know, when you first, I can remember it well, mate, when that door opened for the first time that morning, and the noise, right, and because the silence of a night, and then it just hits you, and it was like a jungle, and the fear, like, what am I going to come up against? If someone looks at you funny and we're going to fucking start fighting and we're going to get jumped and we're going to be attacked, you know, what do we do? It's like, it's horrible, the feelings. People don't understand that you could go out into that world and you could end up dead.
Well, I remember it being an out course, and we were on it was a Saturday afternoon visit, or Saturday morning visit, a family visit. So I was there with going to see the kids. So then I've come back, and it's Saturday late morning, so everyone should be off the wing, like playing pool or just chilling, and everyone's behind the door. I'm like, this is weird. So I said, boss, what's going on? He said, get behind your door. Took me up, locked me behind the door. 10 minutes later, the governor comes in. Like, we've had some intel you were going to get kidnapped this afternoon, because this Asian lad below wants to transfer up to Preston and we're not giving it to him. So he's going to, I used to chill with him to go to the gym, and all of a sudden he was going to turn on me like that and take me hostage till he got to move. Like, just how something can change just like that.
And he probably would have, lad. You know what I mean? So what was it that, because we never even talked about this, you know, so when they've come through your door on that Tuesday morning, what is it that they arrested and found on you? So to justify 7 years in prison? So
at the time they found some Class B. Oh no, did they find Class B in the house? No, they'd had me under surveillance or something for something else. I think someone blew me up, if I'm honest, you know what I mean?
Incel's usually the way, innit?
Yeah. And they found a kilo of cocaine in the house.
A kilo?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, lad.
Someone hadn't paid and passed me it back the night before.
So they hadn't paid for the key?
So they said, I'll have to give you it back. And instead of putting it to bed somewhere, I thought, got lazy and said, I'll do that tomorrow.
Just leave it in the house.
As you do.
Just throw a Kellogg, he's in the house.
So at the time when I got arrested, I'm only getting when they first come, it's only Class B. So I'm in the cell getting questioned. In between the questioning, then all of a sudden they just come in, open a cell, dragged me out, threw me in front of the charge officer, and then charged me for Class A as well. So that's when I knew they'd found it, because I was thinking, they might not find this, they might not find it. No, you're just dreaming in your head. Yeah.
So what's that worth? Like, what, about 50k?
Oh, I don't know what it was at the time. I think it was a bit less at the time, but yeah, I mean,
so they've gone on a value and a shot, you know what I mean? That's there's the sense.
So they were saying a street value of like 250 grand or something. No, the way they just
add a bevy on it. Fucking hell, what are you going to do with a kilo, lad?
I know.
You might as well just be selling talcum powder. You might as well bash that to death.
So it is what it is. If they would have come a bit earlier in the week, they would have got me with more. So
yeah, so it's you could end up with 15.
Yeah,
you know, so. Count your lucky stars.
Exactly.
And like you said,
everything happens for a reason. Simple as that.
You needed that intervention. Yeah. You needed to be arrested.
Definitely. Otherwise, I would have ended up dead. Yeah. Because I was way over my head. I'm not a criminal. I mean, I'm a criminal, but I'm not ruthless enough to be like in that kind of league. I was like, what am I doing? You know, you're not a hardened villain. Yeah. In a sense. No, exactly. So thinking I'm on some kind of movie or something, but it's real life. It's like these people you don't mess with.
And if you didn't, and if that went, so did you get any comebacks over the key going missing? Anyone saying, look, lad, the key's gone?
No, not really. I think they all knew it is what it is, sort of thing.
Yeah, so there was no like
no, because they were mates, sort of thing. It was
once you get nicked, you get nicked. Yeah. That's it. You know, fucking.
But I lost enough in between that. Know what I mean? They took enough off me. The police with the pocket and all that. So
yeah. So what was the pocket?
I think well, they ended up taking like the houses I bought with me footy. They ended up taking me football pension. So they left me with nothing really. So, but you know what? I've got a peace of mind.
That's sad, that, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It is what it is, isn't it? It's like I can't live in the past no more. I don't live there no more, so I don't go there really. It's done and dusted. And
for those that don't know what a pocket is, it's proceeds of crime.
Yeah.
So confiscation.
So just so
they can take anything.
Anything. So they took, even though it was my football pension from when I played football and I'd stopped playing football, so it was all my football money. It doesn't matter, whatever asset assets you have at the time. Doesn't matter when you got them or who gave you them. If it's an asset and they can sell it to do your poker, then they do it.
Did they go deep at that?
The poker?
Yeah, did they look everywhere and go?
Well, as a footballer, you don't get your pension. You could get your pension at 35. So I was up for me poker hearing when I was 34, and they delayed it till I turned 35, so they could take it.
Clever bastards, aren't they? Fucking take that out.
Yeah.
So you know, so getting out, right, being away from your kids for all that time, how did that feel, Michael?
That was the hardest thing. I could go and do jail again, I think, but it's the kids that I couldn't do that to them again. When you're on a visit and someone's pulling you away from your kids after an hour and they're crying, it's like heartbreaking. You see them walking out the door. I'd go back to the cell and just cry. Then no, you wouldn't see them for maybe another week, 2 weeks. Oh, no. And then when I'm away, I don't know whether this happened with you, but a lot was kept from me. What was going on outside, as in the kids getting in trouble in school, getting bullied in school over it, people saying stuff to them. My daughter started school and they were in the computer room and she didn't get on with this girl. This girl put it all up on the main screen, the echo about me. It's the first week of senior school. You know what I mean?
Horrible idea.
Yeah. People are telling me, son, laughing, at least my dad's not in jail. So you don't see that side of it.
No.
And it's, yeah, it was tough. That was the toughest part. My youngest was 3 when I went away. She was 7 when I got out. She wouldn't stay with me on her own. She wouldn't give me a kiss. She wouldn't do that. Can't get rid of her now, but
it changes, doesn't it? So you know, it's you've obviously kind of, like you said, navigated your way through the prison system the best way you could by talking, reading books, you know, getting involved in these courses that you were getting sent in, which is the best thing to do, because you know as well as me, right, Michael, that there's people in there that do absolutely fuck all with the time, right? All they do is suck out the side of the mouth, fucking smoke drugs, slash people, fucking get out and repeat the same cycle. You know, well, there's no progress. Jail's not a place. I say, right, jail doesn't rehabilitate unless you want rehabilitating.
Yeah, definitely.
To a point. I mean, when I say rehabilitating, I mean unless you want to change, right, then you've got to reach out and extend.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like when you've got to be ready, haven't you? It's similar to like going into recovery. But so I'm working for Everton. Now we start going back into Old Course. Yeah. And Walton doing football sessions. So now I'm going back into Old Course where I was a prisoner for 2 years. And it's like and I'm seeing the same lads coming in and out. And there was this lad from Wales. And he was doing a 7 when I was away with him. And then he got out. And then when I went back in with Everton, I think he was doing another 8 now. So I was like, what's going on? But he just loved that madness. He said, I've got one more big one in me after this. I'm like, when are you going to learn? I just don't get it. But it was just surreal, just going back, but then being able to walk back out. And funny enough, we've just passed it now, haven't we, coming in? I was like, oh, wow, that used to be, there's the front door. I've been
to All Course, mate. I've been there. I was there fucking about in the early noughties, to be honest. Yeah. But I know exactly the feeling of going back in to an establishment.
Yeah.
After being in there and going in for a different reason.
Yeah.
You know, I've been into Walton and sat in groups and spoke to inmates who were in addiction and are looking for a bit of hope. I've done it in Old Course.
Yeah.
I've done it in Bristol. I've done it in a few prisons where it's like I've gone in and I've come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that feeling is and I say the same. I've seen the same people in there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad because life passes you by in the blink of an eye.
Oh, I don't know. I'm 44 now. I was like, where's it gone? It's like crazy.
Yeah, 44.
44. But yeah, and I feel as though like what major thing with me in my head is I have to exercise now every day. It's like I think my body's, because playing football, has been used to doing that. And first thing that when I know my mood's dipping is I stop exercising. Then I'll isolate, and then next thing go better off. Yeah. So you start to know yourself, don't you? You have your little tool bag, what you need, and it's still easier said than done. Sometimes picking up the phone, you know, you should pick up the phone, but sometimes like, oh, can't be asked.
Do you know what? I've been like in recovery now, Michael, for what, say 19 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Amazing.
I've been clean 6. My journey hasn't been straight.
No.
Right. It's been a bit of a zigzag. I've had a few relapses on the way. Been to prison in and out of it. The demons have kind of been, you know, I've kept them at the fucking, you know, my heels. They've been at my heels most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, I was on the run and there was no one chasing me. That kind of stuff was going on in my head. But exactly, you know, and I share this, when you're on your own, right, and then you start to isolate, separate yourself, not pick up the phone, not speak to anyone, you start talking to yourself, and you hear like good things in your own voice that maybe like, oh, that's
so bad. That wasn't that bad.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad. Right, come on, really was it, lad? Fucking 7 years in jail, wasn't that? You done it though, didn't you? You do that again.
Yeah.
Kids, talk to you in your own voice. It's fucking scary, right? Now, trying to explain that to someone, who's normal, right, and has a manageable life, and can get through it without having the problems that the mental gymnastics that the likes of us have, you know, and many others, by the way. We are not alone in this.
Geez.
But I bet you thought you was alone.
Oh, no one was like me, as bad as me, or went through what I went. I could sit in a meeting, geez, if someone like normal person's asking, do you think we're all crazy? But everyone in there gets us. Yeah. They've all know exactly what you're saying when you say these crazy stuff.
And you know the mad thing is, like, I've sat across this table and spoke to plenty of people who've never had that problem. Yeah. But they've got it in different ways.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It'll manifest. Addiction will manifest in other ways, whether it's money, women, you know, fucking attention. Yeah, definitely. It comes and it manifests, and it takes that part of you to a different place, you know, and your ego goes with it, and your pride, you know, and all that stuff that fucking takes you out the door. And some our friend said to me years ago, he said, "John, you know, be careful what you wish for in recovery, because you might just get it." Yeah.
Well, that counsellor I was saying to you about Save My Life, she said the most important person you'll ever speak to is yourself. So be careful what you say. Yeah. It's like, when I'm on my own, my head starts going and all that. I have to try and, like, you'll know what they say with, like, fast forward the videotape to where this ends up. Because you don't go through just 1 or 2 drinks all casual, just watching the match and then go home. It's like... No.
It's there's a consequence. So that was said to me years ago. Play the tape forward, Bill. Yeah. Right. Because I never had that ability. I acted on impulse. Yeah. Right. So very impulsive, very reactive. I do something, and then there'd be a consequence, and I thought, fucking hell, what? I'd be sat in a cell and be going, if it just turned left and I went that way instead of that way, I wouldn't have got fucking nicked. Or if it had done this, or if it had just been 5 minutes, all ifs and buts and maybes and should haves and could haves. Right, instead of going now, I'd go, okay, so if I picked up, what will happen, right? Yeah. I'll set off an allergic reaction within me that I'll want more. Yeah. And once too many in 1,000's never enough, right? And I won't stop, right? And I'll lose this, I'll lose that, and before I know it, I'll lose my fucking life. Yeah. Because everything else I'll lose. Yeah. And the progression gets worse and worse. It doesn't get any better. No. So that is a good tool. Yeah. To having your toolkit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty. I mean, getting to meetings as well. I struggle if I don't go to meetings. Listen to other people's stories as well, and also tell your story, because you can help other people, even the long timers who've been a long time sober. Know what I mean? But I mean, I'm not great at it at the minute. Still haven't got it fully, but.
I'll tell you, the likes of Lee Butler, you know, I've had him on. He's great. He talks about it. He doesn't go to meetings in a sense of like this, what we do, like AA, NA, you know. Yeah. I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to say I go to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, mate, because I need to go. Yeah. You know, because I need to identify with people with the same mindset as me. I need to know that I'm not alone. Yeah. Also, I need to be there to share my experience and hopefully help someone else go, oh fucking hell, look at that big hard cunt there with the fucking satellite ripped off and the scars and the nose. You know, if he can talk about how he feels, then
exactly,
maybe I can talk
this
about.
It's just helped me talking about like this now. It's just helped me.
Exactly. So, and I've really enjoyed like this. Like, I know you've struggled because the anxiety kicks in.
Oh, them 4 horsemen.
There's nothing worse than shitting. Yeah. Sitting, by the way, not shitting. Sitting across, because I always say you sound like a fucking Sean Connery. Shit, a whole lot of money had shit in there. But yeah, there's nothing worse than sat there with a camera on you. Oh. It's someone asking you questions, and you've got to talk about yourself.
I was on the way down thinking about turning around.
Yeah, I don't know, you was. I can imagine.
Because we let people down, our ego gets in the way or whatever. It's like, I can't do this. No one's going to listen to my side. No one's going to be bothered about me. Just all this self-negative talk. And I thought, you know what? Do the opposites. Start doing opposites.
Exactly. Do the things you don't want to do, but do them anyway.
Yeah.
And you'll feel better for it, and you'll go home tonight. You'll go, you know what?
I feel better already.
I feel all right. So, right, you've been through the prison system.
Yeah.
Let's put that to bed now, right? You're out. You're back with your family, right? Yeah. How's that sort of turn for any? Is it took a turn for the better, the worse? Is like, you found yourself in a flat?
Yeah. So, wife at the time and all that, visit me all the time and all that. Come out. She decides we need to go our separate ways. Didn't want to tell me while I was away. Just don't know. Maybe she was worried I might do something stupid. I don't know. Whatever. I'm glad she didn't in the way. But anyway, so we've gone our separate ways. Said, yeah, cool. I see the kids every weekend or every other weekend. Get a flat round the corner from them. So that's it. And then all of a sudden, it's good at first because the honeymoon period, isn't it? So when you're away, this was me. I was saying I'd do anything to get out and be in a bed, sit with the kids, just as long as I'm with the kids. Yeah. So I got out. Then I wanted a 1-bedroom flat. Then I wanted a 2-bedroom flat. No, it's never enough.
Yeah.
And then you see other people and all that, and it's just, and then your head, and then it's just one thing leads to another, and you go to a bad place.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, I spoke to the PFA. They got me into a rehab down south. Tony Adams was one. So I went down there for 30 days. When I say like rehab, it could be there was only 4 of us. One was in there for like gambling, one drugs, and drink. And that sorted me out. Come back, spoke to Everton. They offered me a job. Going into the prisons, talking and helping young kids who are on the cusp of criminality or that in the city. And I haven't looked back since, you know what I mean? I've got my life back on track. My kids are older now. See them all the time. Just had my youngest stay for the weekend.
How old's your youngest?
She's 15 now.
Wow.
So my son's 20. Then my other daughter's 18. And the baby, still call her the baby, she's 15.
Wow.
So, yeah, they're doing really well. My son's a PT. My girl's doing international finance and business in uni. And the other one's still at school.
So you're doing, you on the outside there, it's like things have really, like your kids have like blossomed and grown, you know, especially from the time when they were getting like subjected to bullying and name calling and ridiculed by other kids at school who, you know, you fucking can't stand bullying.
No,
it's horrible.
Exactly.
You know, now you've got a place with Everton, you know, in the community, and I've got a few friends. The Pat Van Den Houwe, he's still there.
Yeah, Pat's still there, yeah.
Pat and Lee Jono.
Yeah.
So Lee Jono's a good friend of mine.
So it was Henry Mooney who used to be Lee's boss. He was the one who got me in there from there, and then Denise looked after me while I was there. But and going back to the kids quickly, it's like I used to always beat myself up because I wasn't always a great dad. Yeah. But now I've put that stick down. I'm like, that's done with now. It's just what you do going forward.
It is.
You can't just keep beating yourself up over stuff, otherwise you will get nowhere.
No.
It's like, let's put that to bed and let's move on.
Get off the cross, someone said to me.
Yeah, just do the next right thing.
Yeah, you can't do this thing, do the next best thing. Yeah,
exactly. So then at Everton now, and I love it. I love the club. When I was away, they'd come and see me. If it was Liverpool, they'd wash your hands of me. Definitely damaging the brand, but you know what? They looked after me. They come and see me, and they've always been there for me.
That's why we're like, you know, Everton have got like the spirit of the city, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they're all about Merseyside.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've seen that for years. Whether we go down or we don't, you know, we're always going to be doing something. And I don't think we will go down.
No, I don't think we will. So we're doing the sleep out. We're doing a junior sleep out at Goodison on Friday night. That's all kids from all our programmes. They'll raise money and they'll be able to sleep. We sleep in the park and bring your sleeping bags. So it's a boss night for them, you know what I mean? So I'll do that, hopefully get some sleep. If not, then I'm up to go to Wolves.
Brilliant.
Saturday.
So, you know, I've really enjoyed you coming on, mate. I know
brilliant. Thanks for
your life seems to be a lot better. It's a day at a time. At the end of the podcast, I always ask the guest, have they got a pearl of wisdom? Anything you'd say, right? What would you say to a young Michael Branch coming through the doors of life? If you had an opportunity to speak to yourself now, what would you say? Before we finish, give us one pearl of wisdom.
I used to say, what would I say to myself? I don't know, it'd be something just like, you know what, it's never as bad as you think it is. Or don't overthink. Don't sweat the big little things, and they're all little things, know what I mean? It's like, it's okay, it will be okay. It'll pass.
Brilliant.
Whether it's good things, they'll pass, so hold on to them and enjoy them, and bad things will pass. This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. And with that, thank you very much.
Thanks for having us, mate. Brilliant. Pleasure.